Meadowhawks, Black Horse are also out there in New York. And I'm Shells.
I'm Spider.
Mm-hmm. And Sean?
Well, I'm just here to talk about the music.
There you go.
The music of Serial Obsession, hopefully you've enjoyed thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you want to hear the great big announcement?
Okay.
Okay. This show is no longer just a radio podcast show. As of on May 1st, we're going to be a radio station.
Yay!
That's great!
We're famous.
No, I can't tell you how happy that makes me.
Yeah, I'm really stoked. Really stoked.
Again, there is no sarcasm in that. I love it. I love the fact that I can come home in the middle of the night and hit a button and get you guys, and you're just streaming. It's the best. It's the way.
Absolutely.
It's the way it should be.
So here's the thing: what we're going to do is that when we're not doing the live talk, I had 3 shows. We do Mondays and Fridays. I try to do a live show, but my day job is asking me for more work, and so I'm going to go get more hours. So I shall know more about it on Thursday. But normally Mondays and on Fridays I do a live show just for musicians, just playing music only, no talking, somewhat, and promoting the show on Wednesday. And then Wednesday, of course, is a live show. So when those 3 shows are not live, we are streaming like autoplay of all the music that you guys are hearing, that you guys been submitting to me, is constantly playing nonstop. And then we are going to recap on shows that maybe people didn't know we had on, or missed it or whatnot, and so we're going to recap those. And then 30 minutes before we're live on the show, the autoplay I will have to stop it so we can go live and do this show.
That'll be the only gap.
That just sounds perfect. I love it.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited about it.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a great thing. There's all kinds of secret stuff planned for that too. I've already got some ideas for that now that I know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sneak some stuff in. Oh
boy.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay.
And then also video pick is coming back. Spider's taking over, and we're decided to do what with it, Spide?
We're going to be doing weekly, every Monday. We're going to be showing a video from a new video of new music by new artists who are going to be joining us. Not necessarily always on the show, but at least going to be getting playtime on the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that'll be great. It'll be coming back pretty regular, and there's going to be some surprises there too. I've got some things up my sleeve I'm planning.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
how big is that sleeve?
Really?
Well, I like to wear my sleeves pretty loose, so it's a pretty big sleeve.
Wow.
Okay.
And he's not telling me these things, so you know it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you, Spider. You're owning your stuff, man.
That's right. Speaking of good stuff, I'm ready for our This Day in Music segment.
Oh, yes,
also.
that's right. Yes, he brought that back, too. Go for it.
Yep,
Do you need music?
Some history. Today, in 1973, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon went to #1 in the U.S. Big day for Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. A lot of people will say Dark Side of the Moon is their absolute favorite Pink Floyd album. Sean, do you have a favorite Pink Floyd album?
I don't think I do.
Fair enough.
I don't think I do. I think if I had to choose, I think that would probably be it. For whatever reason, missed that bandwagon, and I never quite got it. So when 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 I was young, a lot of my friends, they started listening to like real like classic rock. So like late 60s into the 70s. And I think I went the direction of I listened to the Beatles when I was 5. The 5 and 6. That was like one of the only things that basically was the only stuff I listened to. And I would like I'd pick it. I would take it out and you know, put it in the stereo and play it, whatever form it was. And then it diverged from there. I found the Who. I found Cream first, and then the Who, and you know, Hendrix and Joplin were in that mix, and there was sort of a bunch of other kind of maybe a little more groovy and more raw acts.
Less on the prog side and more on the rock and roll kind of side.
Yeah. Although, I mean, you know, you got Tommy is like, what's more prog than Tommy?
Good point.
It's unreal. So it was one of the things that I appreciated, but was not, didn't seek out until years later. I came around to it, and it blew my mind. I think it hit me kind of at an age where it should hit you.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
I think
one of those
maybe
things that's kind of a slow burner that kind of has to. You won't get it until it's time to get it.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think musically, I appreciated what was going on. It was incredible. But it wasn't the thing that I needed. And then one day it was, holy moly, it's just some really, really serious, heavy, great stuff. And so intricate and really incredible to me. So I would say I'd say that's the album.
Good. Real good.
And I think I wouldn't normally say that my favorite album of a band is the one it's one of the best selling albums in history. I think it's right. It was on the Billboard charts till 10 years ago or 5 years ago or something. It still sold all the time. Pretty wild. And I will say their comeback album, Division Bell, is fantastic.
Oh, very good. And
really good. Like super kinetic stuff, really, really cool.
They followed that up with their last album, which was their final album, Endless River, which was mostly like ambient, like guitar kind of stuff. We actually, when my daughter was still a newborn, it was one of the things we played for her to help her fall asleep.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
She loved it.
I go to sleep to two things. Well, three things now. And only one of them is music. One of them is YouTube videos of Bob Ross, The Joyous Painting.
So you can paint happy trees and paint yourself to sleep. Well,
do you know this? Do you know what is it ASMR or AMSR? ASMR? Do you know about this?
Yeah, audio sensory
meridial response or something.
Yeah.
So it gives you this weird feeling that it starts kind of in the middle of your brain and it spreads down through your back and your spine. And it's they think it's a primal thing. It goes back, like way back to before we were upright as a species. And Bob Ross is a really big name in this research. So when I would watch him as a kid, if I come home after school and turn on PBS and he was on, there was something about him that made me just kind of feel real good, just kind of safe and good. There's a line in Catch Her in the Rye that is so brilliant. It's when he goes to Holden Caulfield, the hero, goes to the Natural History Museum, and the line that describes it is that it's like it's raining outside and you're in the only dry place in the world. It's that sort of ambient, warm noise, and that, because he speaks so softly, the mics are cranked up, and you get this brilliant sort of all-around warm room noise,
Mm-hmm.
and that can actually just put you to sleep. It's like hypnosis.
It's
cool.
Interesting that you can still pick something like that out that was a very analog thing and still be able to pick it out via the new digital medium like YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. I would never thought of that. Yeah.
I spend a lot of time thinking about digital and analog different things, because being a primarily electronic musician, I'm forced to do almost everything digitally, and I try so hard to emulate analog most of the time that it's kind of occupies a space in my brain. Connecting stuff like that. That's a really interesting idea. I'm actually gonna have to look into that a little bit myself now.
Yeah, check it out. I don't know what the codec is for YouTube. Why that noise got kept in? Because if it was an early MP3 or something on mini disc was the compression sort of that was before MP3. All those high tones are taken out. If it's not, percussive enough of the sound, it just doesn't exist anymore. And for some reason, it stayed through. The other thing is old game shows from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. There's something so wonderful about stuff like, What's My Line? Or I think maybe the greatest game show that has ever existed is Match Game from the 70s. It's laugh out loud funny. It's ridiculous. And if you watch it consistently, you can tell that they tape a lot in a day, and they get progressively more and more drunk. So when you're watching them in rerun, you can watch one that's on a Friday and go, "Ooh, that was the end of the Friday. That was the end of a day, on a Tuesday. That happened." Charles Nelson Riley is making no sense. And then the other thing, although when I was younger, I would put on Appetite for Destruction to go to sleep.
Interesting.
But now it's Tommy. It's the Who.
A girl I used to know way back when I was a teenager used to fall asleep to Megadeth. Megadeth was her preferred music of choice to fall asleep to, and it's interesting how we latch onto these things with our brain about how something that may or may not